Welcome back to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel, where today I am previewing the Grade 3 La Cañada Stakes this Saturday, January 20th at Santa Anita Park. We have 6 older fillies going a mile and 16th on the dirt track. Before we get started, yes, I still have my Christmas tree up in the back. We are in my basement. I'm never here. Do I care? No. So if Jared, if you're watching this, I don't care. Anyways, moving on, we start on the rail at the #1 Musical Mischief for trainer Mike McCarthy. Hopefully this Mike McCarthy has a better weekend than that one did with the Cowboys last weekend. That was terrible. Anywho, this horse is 2 for 6 lifetime. Most recently went to Stakes Company last time out in the G1 American Oaks, where she finished 3rd on the turf. Not a terrible debut, going 10 furlongs on the grass, getting an 84 buyer behind 2 of the best turf distaffers in the country. The 2 races before that, she was on the dirt and she won back-to-back. The allowance race at Churchill Downs, she popped a 90 buyer and won by over 11 lengths. So she's an interesting player here. The #2 is Coffee in Bed, who has a very similar resume as the #1, having raced 6 times, won twice, also debuted on the turf last time out in a G3. Didn't do terrible. The race before that on this course, she did really great, got a 90 buyer and beat another one of these horses in here. That's Clickish, who came back to win next time out. She has a bit of a tougher spot in this race, though. She's going farther than she ever has before, but she is by Curlin, so that shouldn't be an issue. Also has a high purchase price of $500,000, so there's a ton of expectations with this horse. The only thing that I don't love is that her regular rider is riding Midnight Memories, who is the favorite all the way to the outside. The #3 is Signorina Mace. She made her way to the States this time last year after having raced on the turf in Europe. She started out going 4 for 8 in the United States, but each of those wins were at Golden Gate on the synthetic against lesser company. Her last race, she won an ungraded stakes, getting an 85 buyer. This is her first time trying dirt. She gets a new jockey, so there's a couple of things that I don't really like. But you can't look past how well she's done in the last year, getting 50% of those wins. The #4 is Desert Dawn. She's been around the block a few times in the last few years. I'm sure you all know who she is. She's been in multiple graded stakes, won the Santa Anita Oaks back in 2022. She's got some close 2nd and 3rds, but it seems like she's ran into some tough company, and one of the horses who she just can't seem to beat shows up here again. Midnight Memories is here, and she has been unable to beat her in the last 3 times that they've raced. And each time she finishes a length behind her. She has the talent. I mean, she finished 5th behind the best in the distaff, but she's just one of those horses who seems to be a bridesmaid instead of a bride every single time out. The #5 is Clickish. She's one of the long shots here. She finished far behind Coffee in Bed back in October, and she's not even one of the favorites. She seems to fare well against lesser company, but she's taking a big step up here, and she's going to have to improve a lot. She was placed in the Santa Anita Oaks back in April, where she finished 20 lengths behind the winner. I just don't think that this is her race to take that step forward. The last horse is a favorite, and that's Midnight Memories for Bob Baffert. She is currently 6-5 odds, and that's because she's won 5 out of her 8 lifetime starts. She's 2 for 2 at this distance, and it doesn't help that she's won 3 at Santa Anita Park. We last saw her in the Bacoya in December, where she won by a length against Desert Dawn, who we just talked about. She's been working out great since her month layoff. She doesn't need the lead to win, but she does have one of the top early speeds in this race, so look for her to be forwardly placed. So with all of that said, though, this race is a little tricky to me because nobody in here needs the lead to win. Nobody is ridiculously fast coming out of the gate, and nobody's closing like a freight train. So it's all coming down to pace. I think they're going to all have the same running style in this race, and I really think it's going to come down to a jockey's race. I mean, you do have Pratt going on Desert Dawn, but I am going to look elsewhere. I'm going to go with the Rail Horse and Musical Mischief. Her last buyer on the dirt is equivalent to some of the favorites in here. And she really seems to be in her prime right now. She's cutting back in distance and goes back to the dirt where she won her last 2 in a row on there. Underneath, I am going to put Desert Dawn in there in an exacta box because I just really think that she has the talent. Just maybe she hasn't gotten the ride that she needs. So that's going to be a $10 1-4 exacta box. Look, if you guys want to play the number 6, the Bob Baffert horse, going to be 3 to 5 when the gates open up, go for it. But I don't play the chalk. You guys should know that by now. But thanks for tuning into the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss one of these previews. Comment below who you think is going to win the La Cañada Stakes. And until next week, good luck.